How's it going?
Good, my bro. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Life is beautiful, like
Yeah?
always. Yeah,
Sweet.
How is everything for you?
Things are good. Things are good. It's nice to be back in transit. Feels like transitioning into fall a little bit, but we were talking a little bit before getting started, and you and I are heading back to Peru soon, which is always, I don't know, it's always a sweet moment in time for me. It's probably just another walk in the park for you a little bit, but I thought it would be nice to talk a little bit about our experience down there together, some of the things that maybe some favorite. I don't know if you have like favorite places, kind of like saying like which one of your kids is your favorite kid. You probably can't say that, but
That's true.
but it's been such a privilege and an honor for me to be able to, come down there with you and for you to share with me, the journey you've been on with so many of the different sacred sites that are down there and the teachings that you received from your elders and your elders' elders, and it's one thing to, go to a place like Peru and, go to Cusco and go to Machu Picchu and do the, things that, maybe someone that are easy to get access to, but to actually really kind of steep and deepen yourself into the land there and everything that it holds. And it almost feels like we could probably do a whole series of conversations about just the different, like to just say Peru. I think when people think like, oh, you go to Peru, you do, a couple of things, but really you could spend, a month in one small area of the land there and barely scratch the surface. So,
true.
Yeah,
It's
maybe you tell me. Yeah.
My master always say one life is not enough to know everything that is there, you know.
Yeah.
And he exploring so many temples, But one thing that I love to mention is when you feel in your heart the motivation or the call of Peru, the call of this land. And when you arrive there, it's like go back home.
And I think it feels so. I remember when I first saw that, and it felt like postcardy almost to me. It's like, welcome home, and you'd see it written somewhere or be advertised somehow, and you'd be like, yeah, okay, But when I first went, I was in tears when I first went down there. There's a palpable feeling of that, and and admittedly, as a person from a Caucasian person from North America, and we've talked a lot about this. It was hard for me to try and articulate that, but this feeling of wow, there's some part of me that feels at home in this place. And
is this the idea of when you feel belong to some place, to some vibration, to some reality, sometimes you arrive there and you feel welcome, but not just welcome, this is, my heart is here. You know? And Peru have this kind of magnetism, that attract your soul to be there and inviting you to go so deep into the mountains, into this reality, into the people, into the heart of the people, And this is such a beautiful, my elder always describe this part, say, when the land or the temples open the heart, open his heart for you, and you open your heart for the temples, you go to have warriors there forever. It's go to work in you, go to be with you, go to guiding you and supporting you. This is the magical part of these temples because it's alive.
Well, and there's, I mean, maybe you can touch on this too, but there's a lot you've shared with me. There's a lot of traditional stories about people who either are from Peru or who come to Peru and become these real, like, as you say, warriors, or real, like, stewards or guardians of what that place holds.
Exactly.
Whether they're from there or from not from there, like, it's this story arc that it has existed there for quite some time.
Is it the challenge sometimes in humanity? We thinking that the chosen ones,
Right,
know? So
right.
you are special,
Right,
you know.
right.
And I realize for my own journey is everyone is special.
Yeah, right.
And I am special, of course, for me.
Right.
You know, so every single person is special just for his own self. You know, you are one more human being in this planet, but you are special for yourself, and this is what the temples try to show you. You know, in the temples, you see the constructions. It's all this about these beautiful stones coming together. You know, in interconnect. You know, but everyone in these stones, when you see these pieces there, no one is special. You don't have the key stone and after this you build in the wall. No, everyone working together. This is the essence of the Andean tradition. Like, for this reason, we are so strong in this idea of community. Because we work together. Everyone have their own part, their own piece, something to do. You know, for this reason, when I bring people or supporting people to go there and I guiding, the explanation and everything is about the spiritual aspect. It's not about the archaeological things. I know this information. It's beautiful too. Sometimes I use, but it's not the main knowledge or message there. You see?
You know, so two things on that. One, one of the things that was so, and again, it's hard to discern in the beginning because it's at least in my experience, it was so different than what I had experienced in the past. But the openness and willingness of the people to share, share the tradition, share, what knowledge they have, support people through that. There's not this, like, you don't feel that, like, holding on to it or pushing away of people. And I'll never forget, like, I remember one person I was talking to and they just said, well, it's not mine. I was gifted this too, right? Yes, I maybe was born here, but I was gifted this too. It's not mine to control, right? And, that, as we've talked a lot about, is there's also a lot of accountability and responsibility in holding that as well. It's not, as you say, there's no free lunch, but there's an acceptance or a real heart opening, hey, like, there's an appreciation, it feels like, for coming to learn, and a willingness to share, and a real driving of being accountable. The other aspect of what you shared around this idea of everybody working together and the community aspect, for me, like, one of the best representations of this is when we went to Chan, and it's this huge. There's like it's so big, right? There's probably could have hosted 1 million some odd people right?
There, yeah.
And it's this archaeological site that is sort of on an area that's fairly flat, and so if you can get elevated, you can see how big it is. And we had the opportunity to walk around there, but you see, even in the architecture of how they set up the city, whether you're a fisherman or whether you're a
ceramics or artist,
an artist or making ceramics or what have you. The whole city, the whole flow of the city is all interconnected in a way like that feels so intentional, right? And the sort of spiritual center of the city sort of sits in the middle, and everybody has a way to be able to access there, but same, it flows back out that way too. So there's this real, even in the intentionality of how they create the city structure, is to have everybody be really, really, and it will maybe sound obvious or something, but when you're there, you can feel the intentionality of making sure that everybody is connected.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing that is really beautiful about the tradition is when we have three kinds of, or two kinds of, we say, pay taxations.
Right.
Okay? One is the mita and the other is the minka, you know? So one of these ones is in service of love to your community. So people go work in the community, do the things, and, you know, working together for building the roads in the community, okay? So service in love and things that I do for the community, you know? Fixing some things, maybe the aqueducts for the water and things like this. The other one is the one that we do in service of love to the temples, to the spiritual world, you know? So it's the first time you normally pay taxes to the government,
right.
But we never do this part and pay taxes to other spirits,
Right.
you know, to the big spirits.
Right.
So in this way, all one community go to work 4 times, okay? So this is not just for one community. All the communities around have the opportunity to come for one time in a year. Sometimes one time every 2 years, if it's many communities. Come and work in the temple. You know, fixing, caring, you know, clean. But also in the same moment, the priests and priestesses teach about the spirituality. So it's coming and meditate and connecting and learn about the rituals, about the ceremonies that we do there. You know? So in this way, every single community be really strong, connecting with their own spirituality.
Right.
Their own wakas, we call, you know?
Right.
The temples.
Right.
So it's part of how you empower your community to believe in all the spirits and it's like this. The temples is make there to help humans to be more healthy energetically and spiritually. So it's not just about society. It's not just about work and working in the land and all the things. It's about how you are interconnect with the spiritual world too. You know, and many of the temples have a specific reasons. You don't have 2 temples where you do the same job.
Right.
Every single temple have their own speciality, and there is the symbols. You know, when you see the temple of Machu Picchu, for example, that is really famous, have the form of a condor, and one of the more beautiful altars is the altar of the condor.
Yeah.
You know, and it's another part that exists one stone that represent, when you see the form of the condor, you see the heart of the condor there.
Yeah.
You know, and what the people do in the heart is do the offerings. You know, to the heart, to the spirit of the condor, to the waka, we say, the waka of the condor, the acupuncture. You know,
and I think that's, you know, going back to what we were sharing before, like the opportunity to, the temples are incredible on their own if you were just to go and see them, but to actually go and understand what was done, like what the purpose of it is, and the history and the spiritual connection to, which they all have, you know, they all have that intentionality behind them to go and learn, you know, and maybe bringing it back to the idea of ceremony. You know, a lot of people, you know, they'll go to Peru and they'll want to go and do an ayahuasca or retreat or something like that. But, you know, one of the things that's I found, and I think a lot of other people have found, is they come from North America with this, okay, I want to go and do ceremony, or I want to go work with master plans. But don't come from a cultural context of what those experiences, the framework that they actually fit within, right? And so, and we've talked a lot about this too, but then what ends up happening is the master plant or the master plant experience becomes their belief system almost. And they don't have that cultural framework for, yeah, it's, you know, it's beautiful to sit in ceremony, have these kinds of things, but here's
all
this, and again, it's not a religion, right? And I think this is and this is again for me too, one of the hard things that I had to try and separate. It's not a religion or a I don't want to say like a belief system, but it's a way of living in the world and tools, right? We're going to talk about the mesa later and stuff like that too, but they're tools, right? And
tangible things.
Yeah. Exactly.
Because sometimes, well, and this is the idea sometimes with religion. Religion is so limiting, putting you, you know, if you this is the place, this is the box.
Right.
If you thinking to go out from the box, you are wrong.
Right.
You know, you make a fault. You know, Andean tradition, we don't have religion, we have a spirituality.
Right.
The space is open.
Right.
For the reason when the Catholics arrive and we say, okay, sure, this is the cross. Beautiful, we have the constellation. We try to find in similarities. This is the Virgin Mary. Sure, it's the representation of Mother Earth.
Right.
You know, it's the mother of all of us. So, so the Andean people is always try to be open to receive.
Yeah.
It's for this reason that when you arrive there, everyone welcome you.
Yeah.
You know, because inside, in what is the ancestors teach us, and maybe we have this part not just in our consciousness, not in our DNA, is that we are always welcome. We are always open to receive. You know, and maybe this is our the most powerful part of us, but the most fragile part of us too. You know, the most delicate.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, but in depending from how you see.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Huh.
The beautiful part of this is help us to integrate many different realities. You know, and also finding the similarities. You know, of course, when you do this part when your tradition is really strong, you know, when you create a strong roots, so everything that is coming help you to growing.
Right.
But sometimes, and we talk in this part with many different practices, when your roots is not strong enough,
right,
you're floating between ideas.
Ah.
You see? So you need to create a strong roots before open yourself.
I think this is the challenge that a lot of people run into coming from the West, coming from North America, is we put the cart in front of the horse a little bit. You know, even for me, you know, I was in this moment of desperation and challenge and looking for alleviation, and arrive at ceremony to try and heal that aspect of myself, right? And it's a little bit of this careful you wish for. So like, yeah, okay, maybe this moment of alleviation happens, but then it's like, okay, well now I'm grasping for how to actually create some roots for this experience that I've had, right? Yes. And this is, you know, I think this is one of the hard things. Like it's not for us to say maybe how someone arrives. And, you know, certainly if I look back and I said, if I could talk to Peyton, you know, 10 years ago and said, hey, you know, what if you spent, you know, a few years building some roots before jumping into those experiences? You know, if I'm being honest, I think it would have made the journey a little smoother. But it was the journey that I took was the journey that I took, and I think it's a lot of what people look to now is, yes, there's maybe place for ceremony, but in that, if you really, really want to be able to walk that path and frankly get what ceremony is able to offer you, to be able to access that.
This is the part that is really beautiful in the Andean tradition. The temples
Right.
have their own spaces when the people use some determinate, we say, master plan, or connection. For example, when you go to Sacsayhuaman represent the head of the puma, and there is a specific area when the people working with the master plants of ayahuasca.
Right.
Yeah, of course, coming from the jungle is not originally from the Andes, but we were there. And it exists another temples when the people working with another kind of master plants, another ones when the speciality is working with mama coca, So exists all these different places. It's exactly for this reason that it's not possible for you to do whatever ceremony in whatever place.
Right.
Every single place have their own speciality, their own vibration, their own reality, and it's made exactly to holding this kind of vibration.
Right.
For example, I love Ollantaytambo is one of my beautiful favorite places. Is for all the symbology that is there. Everyone go to the temples and see the stones and say, yeah, it's beautiful. I remember one of my friends, she's having some problems with some of the tour leaders, a woman that bring a beautiful group there, a spiritual group. Because the woman asked the question, say to him, I don't care about the archaeological information, I don't care about the stones. I'd like for you to show me how to go into the stone. So this is such a beautiful understanding. When you go to see the images, you go to see the stones there, okay, it's beautiful, it's amazing, it's wonderful, but how I go into the essence? Sometimes I say, my English is maybe not so great, but if you need to reading in between what I try to say with what I say.
Right.
So when you go into the temples and you see the form there, and you are so cutting into the formalism world,
right,
you never go to have the way to see what is beyond.
Right.
And this is a little bit what I love to do in when we're inviting people there. We go into the temples, and I love to show what is in between.
Yes.
In between realities. Okay, you see the altar, you see the stone. What is this stone?
Yeah.
That is what this stone represents. Yeah, it's a simple stone in the middle of these terraces. No, it's the heart of the condor.
The trick when we go with Jamie to temples is getting him out of the temple.
Yes.
It's nothing lights Jamie up more like telling the stories of the stones, for sure. Yeah.
And there you see the symbolisms, and you see all the Andean cosmovision.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is such a beautiful world, to interpret and imagine yourself into this cosmovision.
Yeah.
Help you to not just questioning your life, because this is easy.
Sure.
It's not be a founder in your life, not a seeker. Finding yourself there.
Well, and that's, one of my more favorite experiences of some of the work that we've done down there is, a lot of the times when we've done tours is showing some people around to some of the sites and everybody, people go down there and they're thinking, when's the ceremony, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the time, right? And, but we go to some of the temples that you offer some of the teachings and things like that. And then when we've sat in ceremony, to watch how those different temples and teachings and things deeply impact and support the work that they do in ceremony, right? is incredible, and that's the opportunity, with some of those places, as opposed to just focusing on, I want to,
go and do
I want to go
ceremony.
and do ceremony, right? So,
And this is, o sea, is something beautiful when you have the opportunity to arrive to some place. It's like go to a house and go and sit in there and prepare a tea and go to sit in the table. But you don't go into a house and don't say hi to the people, the owners, the one that living in this home.
right.
So it's a little bit the same idea.
Right.
When you go to the temples, you go and say hi, introduce yourself to this vibration, this spirit, because the temple is also one spirit.
Right.
Well,
and that's even, not only the temples, but even when you go to some of the mountains, to the different apus as well, right?
Yes.
Is the same methodology,
Yep.
right? Is each mountain, just if you went there, like without any of the context, it's beautiful, the mountains are beautiful and incredible. But if you also have the context and the understanding and the teachings of what each of those places represents and how to engage with those different places in a respectful way.
this is another
It's
world.
it's a
For
whole
the
other
reason
thing.
I always say to the people, be aware of who you are today.
Yeah.
Because when we finish this time together,
Yeah.
you go to be 100% a different person.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a life change. And it's not because we do ceremony or no.
Yeah.
It's because everything that we experience.
The whole thing
there.
is, the whole thing. So we have to talk about Chavin.
Okay, go ahead.
And as I said, I can never pick a favorite child, and so I won't. But Chavin has a very dear, close place in my heart, and it's hard to put words to, but to see or to be able to step into something that is so, they've just done carbon dating that they found ceramics that have Apu Wachuma in them that are 30,000 years old, right? And I think there's this, you see this in North America, but there's this, working with master plants, and it feels like someone's discovered something that's, new or what have you, and you go there, and to me, like, one of the most fascinating things was how obvious what it's been there for. Is even when you come into the town of Chavin, right? You see Apu Wachuma there and all the carvings, and it's the man with the changing of the face of the puma holding two Wachuma cactuses most of the time, right? You don't have to question maybe what's happening here,
clear,
right?
Yeah.
And you go to the temple and to see the place, you look at the carvings, and for me, what was so fascinating about this was, starting Numinous and building what we built, right? And thinking that we're trying to like figure out this, all I wanted to do is like take every person that was ever involved with Numinous and just say like, this was figured out a long time ago, right? But to go and you see, in the plaza on the side where they would sit and receive the master plan and the carvings, and showing, even on the carvings, showing the person having the master plan and then the transformation that happens. And then
all
you
the
go,
process.
Yeah. And then go into the temple and see, the places where you would sit. And even, the story you're telling me too about the temple, how it has all these channels where they would run water through to flute up to the surface, because the whole temple is also an instrument. It's a musical instrument, right? It's just like
blowing your mind.
Totally.
Yes,
Yeah.
So, but this is the question. This temple, Chavin, is that every single person that's working with Apu Wachuma, if you like to see your home,
Yeah.
If you feel called and be loyal to this master plan, this is home.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but for me personally, I believe that what I say, one life is not enough to be connecting and learn about one master plan. So I don't really believe so much in the ones that having 2 or 3 master plans and okay, what do you like to do a ceremony with ayahuasca or with wachuma or with another one or with another thing. So how you go to have and holding this part? For this reason, I am super loyal and really connect with wachuma. You know, this is my master plan. I believe and I have a lot of reverence for this, for my relationship with him. You know, of course I sometimes do ceremonies, but I go to my elders that have the speciality, the same commitment that I have with Apu Wachum. I have another elders that have the same commitment with Mama Ayahuasca, you know, and I go with these guys just for my own enlightenment. But if you are really connecting with Apu Wachuma, you need to go to Chavin. There is everything is made for him, you know. And what do you say? How the ancestors thinking about create all one city, there is a huge instrument of music, you know? And what mean? That the construction of Chavin is not made by humans. It's the master plan, the one that guiding the construction of his temple. And Chavin, in older times, be the spiritual center of the Andean tradition. So there is when you see who raising us? The master plans. The master plan is the one that guiding us and help us to receive this interpretation, this way of art, open our world, and help us to integrate a little more deeply with what is nature. You know, and we building all this huge temple and all the symbolisms that you see there, inviting you to connect with what is home.
Well, and that's, I think, you know, we live in this civilization at the moment that we sort of pride ourselves on our technological advancement, right? And I think we've just taken one road in regards to like a certain type of technology that we looking to advance, right? When you go to a place like Chavin or when you go to Peru, there's things that we can't we can't explain with the you know, even the carvings of the stones, like you know, you can go to Egypt, you can go to some of those places and what they've built is incredible, but you can't, like, there's stones. You think about going to Sacsayhuaman or some of these places, there's stones that are carved with these unique curves and alignments where you can't fit a hair through these carvings. And the only thing that you can come to is they have a different relationship with nature and have developed a different form of technology with nature than what we hold at the moment, right?
This is a little bit the challenge, because sometimes my elder always say, the most advanced that we are technology, the most close that we are the most close that we are to realize that we have all these capacities.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
That we have the capacity to teletransport, that we have the capacity to, you know, you don't need a phone to give a phone call to somebody, just telepathy, and you connecting with this person in whatever part of the world.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I think humanity need to realize and go to right to one point. When we go to realize that the machines and the technology is not necessary anymore.
It's limiting us.
It's limiting us. And we go to potentialize our own gifts, you know, exploring our own human existence. And we are one of the most complex and advanced machines, you know. Then the other hands, we go to open ourselves and our hearts to many different kind of realities, you know. And maybe there is why the ancestors building these temples, because it's try to help us and supporting us to continue moving in life. It's like a message, you know. Hey, go when you arrive there and see and connect, and sometimes people just walking and feel the call of one stone and go and hug, you know, and you see this one, you know, the people just hugging the stone and you say, I don't know, I feel the attraction to this one. Okay, connect, try to go deep, close your eyes, feel, you know, and there the stone call and bring some kind of awareness, you know, because what the ancestors always believe is that everything has life, you know. So it's so beautiful sometimes to realize that you have stones there put in there, and each stone have life. How many teachers you have there?
Yeah.
You know, and how these teachers interconnect. My master say, you know, we have microorganisms that when be together, beginning to create organs. You know, the cells as microorganisms be together and form an organ, a liver, a lungs, a heart. And when these organs come together, beginning to form another organism, that is the human being.
Right.
You know, and when we are together, we create another organism, that is the human conscious. When the human conscious beginning to be together with the other conscious of the other animals, the plants, the trees, the things, create this planet.
Right.
You know, so we are here in a mission, and this is what the Andean tradition tried to help us to be aware that we are human beings, and be a human being is a privilege. We forget to be humans.
Well, and I think to your point is, you know, to this idea of everything having life and everything have a lived experience to be able to share, right? And I think, you know, that for me in my own journey, you know, I love learning, right? And we've talked, you know, I'm someone who's always asking for more homework and looking for more learning to do. But to go and actually learn from someone's lived experience and to feel that, right? Going back to, and again, this isn't a knock on religion or belief system, but it's one thing to read something in a book, right? Or even hear, you know, someone directing something at you, but to go to a place and to actually experience and feel and find out for yourself.
Yes.
It's not, you know, you're just laying the breadcrumbs, right? And it's for you to go and create your own relationship and find out for yourself. And, you know, I think that's also, you know, again, when we go into ceremony, right? You experience something, right? That you can't, it's not something you can get in a book, and it's not something you can even have someone else tell you, is you experience something. And I always think about, you know, the North American indigenous people work with peyote, right? And there was a story of Quanah, I think it was Quanah Parker, when the Europeans came over and they were talking about religion, right? And they were, you know, this idea of, and I'm paraphrasing, but Quanah Parker says, you know, your books tell you about this guy named Jesus, and you either choose to believe or don't believe. He says, I go into my teepee and I sit with a peyote and I talk to Jesus.
Yeah, that's true.
And this is the difference, you know, in a lot of these experiences is it's for you to go have whatever experience is true for you and build that relationship, right? And that's what coming to some of these places gives you the tools and the framework to go and deepen and build your relationship.
Exactly. And this is maybe the work of the master plan, you know, the tradition, the elders that make these temples for us to see a little bit of what is the world of these guys and feel the same inspirations that these guys have to building a better world for humanity.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So go to this pilgrimage and connecting with the temples is one way to remember what it really means meaning in life.
Yeah.
You know, because we are here for a little bit of time, but you know, the next generations come. What kind of world we go to give to the next generations? This is the most important part. You know, I love to build in something. Maybe not now in the way of a temple or things like this, but I love to building in the way of, you know, sharing these things. You know. Wow.
Well, it's been such an honor and a privilege for me to be able to come and drink a tiny little sip from, you know, a very, very big cup that you've been holding, and it's of all of the things that I get to do, it's one of my it's my favorite thing to see people come and build their own relationship, and so thank you for,
my pleasure,
you know, allowing me to do that and be a part of the journey, and I'm looking forward to heading back in November. It's always where do we get to go, and how much time can I claw away to be down there, but I think, you know, one of the things also is, you know, when you build these relationships, is that the relationships that you get to bring home with you.
Yes.
And that's, you know, that for me has been, you know, such an enriching part of my own journey, is, you know, same with ceremony, is it's this brief moment in time where you get to actually be in maybe a physical interaction with something, but what you're able to bring home after is
such amazing.
It's everything. So thank you.
My pleasure, my bro. I think I like to inviting everyone to come. You know, if you feel the call, if you feel that you want to transform something in your life, if you feel that you are ready to a big transition in your life, come. We help this process. We help this journey. It's part of the essence and part of the mission of the Andean tradition. It's part of the mission of Peru. We say it like this. The apples there, you know, everyone help you to transform and transmute and help you to move. You know, so if you feel the call, if you are in one moment of transition in your life, internally and externally, we help you. You know. Thank you for everyone. Thank you, my bro.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you. See you the next time. Bye.